So a very good morning to you. If you've just joined us here on SABC News, of course, at SABC News, we promise to bring you the most technologically advanced municipal election it's this time in the history of South Africa. Now, we've got an interactive screen where you at home you can go and interact with it, but I just want to show you some of the functionality that we have. At the election centre, of course, this is SABC News, our very own website. You can go, you can check your registration, you can make sure that you're in the right area. I can show you the profiles. You can check your registration. If you click on that, it'll open up. You'll click through all the screens, all the latest news, of course, the last couple of days of campaigning that's been going on all around. A very interesting one that I wanted to show you was the election in numbers. All of this is available, of course, right at the touch of your screen. If you've got your iPad, if you've got your laptop, you'll be able to go to SABC News. This is what will pop up. Let's just have a look at how it's been broken down a little bit. We've got the election in numbers up here now. As South Africa's democracy matures, the IEC reached some historic milestones. Well, we've heard what Terry's been talking to Des a little bit earlier about. Of course, we're ready, but the numbers are quite impressive. 26.3 million voters are registered. Of course, the special vote requests that we've just spoken about now, they've more than tripled from 2011. Just over 800,000 is the number now. 22,612 voting stations, 64% of those are in schools and 8% are in religious places. Now, 204 political parties are contesting these elections. That's, more than 2/3 more than in 2011. If we go a little bit further down, you can see how many candidates are competing. 63,654 for the 9,301 councillor positions. 4,649, that's a record number of unique ballots for wards, proportional representation, Metro Council, and then the District Council. All of these we'll unpack for you over the next couple of days as we're running, of course, into municipal election 2016. 855, the record number of independent candidates compared to 2011, 754. And just to wrap it up, it's the largest ballot paper ever for Cape Town's 37 political parties contesting the metro there, and of course 153,000 ballot boxes will be rolled out in 133,000 voting booths. That is all around the country. This is the election by numbers. If you want to have a look at what else is happening, you can just go and touch the screen. We'll show you elections 2014. All the functionality is there. It'll all pop up on your screen right about now. Well, not just yet. Connectivity, as always. Let's move on. We're going to focus now on KwaZulu-Natal. Now, in the last 5 years, two of the hostels in Durban, KwaMashu and Gleblands, have made news for all the wrong reasons. Crime, political killings and fights over accommodation overshadowed the transformation of these areas. This report was filed by Linda Ngobozi.
Originally, a men-only accommodation. This changed after 1994. The ANC-led government took a decision to transform hostels into family units. In Durban, this promise was kept. Many old and dilapidated buildings made way for new flats. But officials admit that the lack of proper administration of the hostels contributed to some of the problems experienced here.
I must admit that the municipality has actually failed to administer the hostels. I think it's a weakness from our part. It's something that we must accept it. And it's something that municipality need to improve on to administer the hostel. Our administration is very poor when it comes to the management of the hostel. So we need to improve on that one because there are still so many people who are not paying rent.
Here at KwaMashu Hostel, killings were linked to politics and faction fights imported from rural areas. Officials and politicians from different parties tried to intervene.
All we need to do is to ensure that indeed we step up our efforts as government and as responsible citizens on the other hand to ensure that we find lasting solutions to the existing problem here.
The area is designated for 20,000 people, but over 100,000 live here.
The problem with KwaMashu is informal settlement. If municipality and hostel leadership work together to try to resolve the issue of informal settlement at KwaMashu, everybody can be happy because of there is something is coming up.
The number has increased drastically, but we will definitely face the hostel. So I'm saying it's a question of working together as stakeholders, working together as with councillors, working together with all role players in the hostel, the committees that are there in the hostel, the police and everybody.
Cleveland's hostel, south of the city, has also had its fair share of problems. Nearly 100 people were killed here since last year. Two factions fighting over the control of accommodation. Interventions by traditional leaders, politicians, and even the public protector did not seem to yield results.
The main reason we're here is the killings, that we've been requested to intervene to make sure that the killings are stopped. And the complainants even threatened to take us to the United Nations if we don't stop the killings. We have found that the storyline that is consistent is that it started with a scramble for accommodation. The allegation is that the way people that started selling the beds, they call them beds because in some of the rooms it's literally a bed that has to be sold, but in other places it's a whole room, but they still call them bed. So they say that those were being sold, and then there was a scramble for that. Others were resisting, and they claim some were between, and then there's been killings from both sides of the conflict.
As William was what we are saying, to try to resolve that crime issues is to create the skill development in our hostel, because there is a community hall which we can use as a training center, different skills, e.g. plumbing, painting, bricklaying and so on. That is how we can cut down our unemployment in our hostels.
The eThekwini Metro Council says it's in the process of fencing Cleveland's in a bid to curb violence.
Beside fencing the hostels as part of our plan to make sure that the hostel is safe, we decided also to erect CCTV cameras to assist the police to monitor the hostel.
No death has been reported at Cleveland's in the last 3 months.
I think we have actually worked very well in the past 5 years. We are actually leaving a legacy behind. We are actually leaving a landmark behind that actually must proceed with the next new incoming leadership. There are so many projects that we have been able to implement in terms of housing, water, electricity, sanitation, job creation, and other projects as well. But when it comes to housing or hostels, we've got about 10 hostels in the municipality of eThekwini that were transferred by the province Department of Human Settlement to us. It's a question of making sure that those hostels are actually, properly managed.
Nxumalo says in spite of problems of crime and killings in these hostels, his outgoing council is proud of its achievements, including an unqualified report for the first time since the ANC took over the control of the metro in 2000. Linda Mkobozi, SABC News, Durban.